In this video, I'm going to show you how you can weave a super easy vertical stripe bookmark. So let's get started. In this video, we will be using our recycled acrylic bookmark loom. You can find these at spruceandlinen.com or by clicking the link in the description box below. To start off this weaving, we're going to be doing the warping. So to warp this, we're using 8/8 cotton, which is a nice thick cotton and will provide a thick fringe. Before we begin warping, we're going to tie an overhand knot to create a loop in our warp string so that we have something to hook onto the notch. Next, we're going to hook that loop onto the first notch on the far left bottom of the loom. And then we're going to go up to the first notch on the top. You're going to wrap it around the notch only. You don't need to go all the way around the loom for this. And then you're going to come back down and go into the second notch. This is going to be a double warp, so we need to actually put 2 strings between each notch from here on forward. So after you go around the second notch, you're going to go back to the top, and you're going to put that string next to the one previously. And from here on out, we're putting 2 strings between each of the notches. When you're warping your loom, you don't need this to be super tight, but you also don't want it to be really loose either. Sometimes this does take a little bit of trial and error, but it's pretty easy to get the hang of. Now we want to go for a total of 18 warp strings. So let's see if we're there now. 14, 16, 17, 18. So we're gonna end this down here at the bottom. I'm gonna leave myself a nice long tail and trim. Then I'm just holding this in place with my right hand, and I'm gonna tie a knot with my left hand. So we want that to be fairly tight, but again, we don't need to be reaming on it. So I'm gonna do that again. And just because I tend to be paranoid with this, I am going to tie a triple knot. Now we can trim off the excess. Make sure you leave that tail so the knot doesn't come undone. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, just so that the tails aren't in our way. Next, I'm going to flip over the loom and grab some painter's tape. This is my favorite way to hold my loom down to the table. And the reason for blue tape, specifically for painter's tape, is that it's not going to wreck your table, depending on the type of table, of course, so be careful. But this tends to be a tape that easily comes up without destroying the surface. For this piece, you're going to need 2 colors of worsted weight cotton. This is like a dishcloth cotton. I'll put links in the description box below, but it's just a super easy to work with yarn, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to take my off-white color, which matches nicely with my warp string, and we're going to take a long piece of this and do a twining stitch followed by a couple rows of plain weave before we get started on this vertical stripe pattern. Now, the longer string that you work with when you're weaving, the less ends you have to tuck in. However, you also don't want to go too long or you'll feel like you're stringing the yarn through for forever. So I like to work with a max of 3 arms lengths at a time. So I just stretch out both my arms. I am short, so take that as you will. For a small piece like this, I'm gonna go a little bit less than 3 because this is gonna go quite a long way. When I'm weaving with 2 different colors, I like to use our maple and walnut tapestry needles because they're 2 different colors. So I take my lighter color and I thread that through my maple needle, and then I take whatever's the darker color, in this case it's gonna be the red, and I'll use the walnut needle for that, because then at a glance, I know which needle has which yarn on it. It's just an easy way for me to remember that. I love to start my weaving with a piece of cardstock. This one is just a bit over 1 inch. So I'm gonna weave this in over 1, under 1. I'm going from left to right now. And this is just going to give us a sturdy and straight base for us to beat down our weft onto. Now that we have this in place, we're ready to start our twining stitch. So to begin a twining stitch, we're going to do 1 row of plain weave. That's the same as what we did here with the cardstock, but we're going to do the opposite so that we're not putting our string just through here like this. So the cardstock ends going underneath the string, so I'm gonna start my row going over. So I'm going over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1, all the way across the loom. We're gonna leave a nice long tail so that's easy to tuck in later. And I'm just gonna give my warp a little bit of a strum so that it provides some more slack for our weft. I'm gonna push this down with my comb, but not all the way because we still need to do the twining stitch. So for a twining stitch, we're going to be holding our needles down at an angle, and we're going to be looping this into our previous row. So everywhere that the weft, that's the horizontal string, is going over top of a warp string, which is the vertical, we're going to loop around that. So I'm pointing my needle down at an angle from left to right, and I'm taking my needle going underneath both of those strings, and that's our first twining stitch. And as we're doing our twining stitch, we're going to be pulling it tight, but we don't want to pull in the warp string. So we're going to pull that tight, then I'm going to grab onto this end and pull that a little bit as well. So now we're ready to move on to the next string. We want to make sure that we're grabbing what is actually the next one. So if the strings are kind of out of order, you can just kind of strum them back into place. So I can skip the next string because the weft is going under the warp. Then I'm going to the one after that. And I'm going underneath both the warp and the weft again, pulling that snug, grabbing onto the other end and pulling that snug, and then moving on to the next one. So skipping this warp string and going to the next one underneath both the warp and the weft and pulling everything snug. We're going to repeat that same thing all the way across. Now that we have our twining stitch in, we're going to do a couple rows of plain weave on top of that. So that's back to our, since this string is coming underneath the warp string here, we're going to go over it in the next row. So over one, under one, all the way across. We're going to pull that snug against this warp string, but we're not pulling it in like this. We want to try to keep our warp strings nice and straight. Create a little arch to provide slack. Give your warp a strum, grab your weaving comb, and push that down nice and snugly. Then we're going to do one more, and now we're ready to get started with the pattern. So I'm going to grab a nice long length of my red string next. So again, I'm grabbing about 2.5 arm lengths this time, and I'm grabbing my walnut tapestry needle and threading this on. To create these vertical stripes, we're just going to be using a version of pick and pick. This time though, we're going to be weaving it over 2, under 2. So this is very similar to our checkerboard coaster project, but instead of staggering the colors every once in a while, we're just gonna do the same thing all the way up to create those vertical stripes. So to begin this, I'm gonna start on the left side just because this is all started on the right, and I'm going to weave over 2, under 2. So this is just like plain weave, only instead of going over 1, under 1, we're doing over 2, under 2. Again, leave yourself a nice long tail so that you can tuck that in later. We're going to push this down firmly on top of our white plain weave, and then we're going to go in with the white yarn. Now we do have to link the ends for this. So I'm laying this red string over here. And we're gonna take this white string and we're gonna go over top of it. And this time though, we're going under 2, over 2, because we need to weave the opposite of the red row. So under 2, over 2, all the way across. And we've linked that around this red string. Create the arch, give your warp a strum, and push that down nice and tight against the red. Then we're going back to our red, and once again doing over 2, under 2 across the loom. Once again, we're going to take this red string, we're gonna lay it over here, picking up our white string and going over top of the red one, and then weaving in our under 2, over 2 across the loom. Now we can pick up our red string again and we can weave over 2, under 2. So you can see those vertical stripes starting to form, setting our red string over here, taking our white string, going over top of the red one, and then weaving in our under 2, over 2. Back with the red, over 2, under 2. Continue weaving back and forth your red and white yarns until you run out of length. So I'm at the point where this tail is getting pretty short. So I'm gonna grab a new piece of my off-white yarn. I don't need to grab a lot because we only have a little bit further to go. So I'm gonna go with about 1.5 arms lengths. This is gonna definitely be more than I need, but I would hate to have to take another new piece yet. So that's why I'm going with that length. This string is going to get tucked in the back later. It's a little bit long, so I'm gonna trim a bit off. And we're just gonna tuck this into the back so it's out of our way. And I'm gonna take my new string and add it in. So we ended with the red, so that means I have to do the white, which is under 1 over 1. Once we have this white string in, I'm gonna beat that down. I'm going to grab my red string, which is almost gone as well. And what we're gonna do here is loop this around. So I'm bringing the white over the red, and then I can weave my red in with that over 2, under 2. And this will create that same effect we have here. Once we tuck this back in here, you can see that it'll match up with all those other little loops we have on the side. So now we're gonna do the same thing on this side. So I'm gonna trim this. We're going to weave in this one. So we've brought it over top of the red. We're gonna tuck that end into the back and grab a new piece of red. So now we're weaving our red in over 2, under 2. This string will get looped around here and tucked into the back. And now we can just keep weaving as normal. My bookmark is the length that I want it, and I don't want to get too close to the end because it does get more difficult to weave, and we want to leave enough that we do have some fringe as well. So now that it's the right length, I'm going to leave this red string over here. We can cut off some of the excess and just leave a nice long tail to tuck in. Then I'm gonna take my white string, and I'm still gonna bring it over top the red so that it kind of matches what we've got going down here. But now I'm going back to regular plain weave, so over 1, under 1. I'm gonna do that all the way across. I'm going to weave 3 rows of these plain weave, and on that last row of plain weave, I'm going to do another twining stitch. For the twining stitch, I'm not going to turn around and do the twining stitch. I'm going to leave a really nice long tail here, and I'm going to take that other string and start my twining stitch from the same end. If you try to turn around on a piece like this, what will happen is as you're trying to tighten the twining stitch, it's going to want to pull in this side, and we don't want that. So I'm going back to my other side, and I'm going to start the twining stitch. So the weft is going over the warp, so I'm going to go under that warp and weft here, tighten that up, skip the next string, and go underneath the next area where the weft is going over top of the warp. So just like we did at the bottom, I'm going to continue that all the way across. You can cut off some of the excess from that string we just wove in, and now we're ready to flip this over and tuck in the ends. Before I start tucking in the ends, I want to bring all of those ends to the back of the loom so that we don't miss any of them. Now that they're all in the back, I'm going to grab a small yarn needle like this, and this will help us tuck in those ends super easily. To tuck in the ends, you're going to thread your needle, and the reason I'm using this needle is it's much thinner, so it's going to be easier to tuck in the ends. I'm going to take this and I'm going to stitch it in to this channel, only in the back of the piece. So you can go as many strings as you want. I'm grabbing 6 in this case, which is plenty. And then you can see when I flip this over, you can't see it from the front. So it's gonna hide really nicely in there. So I'm going to pull this through, and then I'm gonna carefully trim off the end. Now you just wanna make sure that you're not cutting any of the strings in our weaving, just the string we just tucked in. And you can see how it disappears quite nicely into the piece. So next I'm gonna grab this string, and this string was part of our plain weave and twining at the bottom, so it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm going to first grab these little loops. It's really tight, but it'll go through. I'm gonna grab the 2 loops here at the bottom, and since those are so tight, I'm gonna just go through those, pull this through, and then I'm gonna take this over to this row, grabbing 6, 7, 8, however many threads you want to. It doesn't really matter. Just, I would say 4 or more at least. So that's all tucked in there, and I can trim off that end. Now we have some strings that are a little bit more close together. So we have this one and this one. So for that, I'm simply gonna take this string, and I'm gonna take it down into this channel, the very far one on the edge. If you're concerned, you can double check on the front that you're not going through to the front. Trim off that end. And then for this next one, I'm going to take this down into this channel. So now I'm just making sure I'm not pulling it too tight so that it goes out of place. So you can continue tucking in the ends just like that until they're all tucked in. Now we're ready to remove this from the loom. So we're going to take out the cardstock, and there's a couple different ways you can do this. If you want to, you can draw yourself a nice straight line across the warp if you're worried about getting it straight or not. To do this, you can use a water-soluble marker, or you could just use a Sharpie and make sure that you cut off the marker line. I like to eyeball this, so I'm just gonna carefully, and I can always straighten it out later, I'm gonna carefully start trimming. You can even hold it down with your other hand so that it doesn't kind of wanna spring back on you. Now, before I take this all the way off the loom, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna pull this nice and tight because it's easier to cut that way. And I'm gonna try to cut this at the same length that I did the other side. Now we can set aside our looms, and you wanna grab a rope brush. This one's from Unfettered Co. I'll link it in the description. But if all you have is something like a cat brush, that'll work too. So I'm gonna comb this out. Now, I don't wanna scratch my table, so I am gonna grab just a piece of cardstock to comb onto so I don't scratch up the table. And I wanna comb this out so it's a little bit more floofy and untwisted, so it doesn't look as much like individual thick strings anymore. We can do the same thing on the other side. After you've combed it out, you might notice a lot of fuzz at the end, and a lot of fuzz on your table too, in my case. You can grab your scissors again and just trim off the fuzz. All right, the bookmark is all done, so let's have a look at the finished piece. This is a really fun and easy project. It's perfect for Christmas if you do the red and white stripes. And if you like this video, check out this one next.